Living longer comes at a cost, so preparing for the future now can bring peace of mind.
Power of attorney is a document that a person puts in place to allow someone to deal with their financial affairs and their welfare at a time when they do not have capacity in the future. A power of attorney, the document itself is quite a lengthy document. It deals with all of the financial affairs and it deals with all of the welfare powers that you will need in the future. Anyone can make a power of attorney, as long as you're 16 years or over, and the document itself can only be signed by someone who has capacity. The beauty of having power of attorney is that provided you've got capacity, you can appoint whoever you want to be your attorney. And that would be someone that you trust. Perhaps if it's a family scenario, if it was a husband and wife, the wife would appoint the husband, and then they would appoint a substitute, being perhaps the children. The person who signs the power of attorney is the person making the power of attorney, and that person is known as the grantor. The power of attorney is signed, and then the solicitor who is acting signs a certificate which confirms that the person has got capacity, that they know the person, that there's no undue influence been placed upon the person, and that certificate and the power of attorney are registered with the Office of Public Guardian, along with a registration form which is signed by the attorney. When you put in place a power of attorney, you don't need to lose your independence. There are some situations where power of attorney is in place and a person becomes elderly, and in some cases they just can't be bothered, or they lose interest in their affairs, and then family can step in and deal with it. The underlying principle of it all is that there should be minimum intervention, and that minimum intervention is that a person should do for themselves as long as they possibly can. Public Guardian is based in Falkirk, and the Public Guardian, when the Adults with Incapacity legislation came into being, was put in place to oversee powers of attorney and all areas of incapacity or adults with incapacity. There was a time when, prior to the Public Guardian's Office being in place, it was thought that powers of attorney had uses and abuses, and the knowledge that the power of attorney, that the Public Guardian is there, and if there is a difficulty with a power of attorney and someone not using it the way they should, then they can be reported to the Public Guardian. If you don't have a power of attorney and you don't have capacity to make decisions for yourself, then your family are faced with applying to the court to have a guardian appointed for you, and that process is more cumbersome and costly than having a power of attorney, which power of attorney is you put it in place at your own free will and you're able to do so and make the decisions about it.
Celebrating 30 years, the McKinstry Company, a law firm for life.